Greetings, Hotep Aguaba, bless up. Welcome back to the recovery room of Racism Non-Anonymous with me, your host, Sis Abana Africa, the recovering African who is culturally enslaved here in America. And I am a representative from the voices in the margins, true to the cause of African liberation via unification and utilizing the tool of healthy and effective communications. I am a traumatized traumatologist, trauma queen, and queen of trauma. And that is understanding trauma and traumatic stress, what it is and how it has and continues to work in the lives of African descendants. Coming and standing on that revolutionary 12-step self-help program that has been uniquely designed with you and me, the African, in mind. And it is designed to support our healing and recovering from the shit. Traumatic stress of the human intentional type. Enjoying my reggae in the background always. It is kind of late in the evening because I did work today. I do have a full-time employment, still doing the work. On the plantation of which I am employed. And so first, I'm going to say this is what part 4 we're up to. And so this will continue to come in series. I really don't know how some YouTubers do it who say they work also a full-time job, and then the videos that they produce and, even at the level of frequency that they're able to produce them, it's like, wow, that's some pretty good skills. So there are certain ways I would prefer to add to the video, yet it takes much more time and skill than I have available to me these days. So what I said and what this is about getting in Umar's shit and looking at closer, exploring Umar's shit. And the shit, in fact, is listening to this conversation that he had with his supporters, which is like, this is, what kind of shit is this? Let's look at this a little closer and see if there's, we could separate the sugar from the shit, if there's any sugar in there at all. Yet, this is the more importantly, remembering and telling the truth about terrible events are both prerequisites to A, restoring social order, and B, healing individual victims. For me, I have been victimized by Umar and his shit. Way back when, as I said in the earlier video, right? So I've been victimized and been a victim of his shit, very up close and personal. So, there are several ways to experience traumatic stress. A person will experience that based on things that has happened to them, as well as things that may have happened to people close to them, their family members, those they care about. And they may have witnessed it as well and or heard about it, become aware of it, and experience the same sort of shock and painful awe that the victim may have felt. So people remembering and telling the truth in order to restore the social order. That's why it's important that it helps restore social order and healing individual victims. So because, it happens, I witnessed and I've experienced his shit and so forth. So it's like, just, and in order to get well, it's important to remember and tell the truth. And I understand that truth to be the whole truth. And that means the experience as well as the feelings that were connected with that experience, because that's what gets disconnected when folks experience and when we experience traumatic events. In the moment that this event is playing itself out, the situation is unfolding, our body, our mind, body, and spirit works together to go on the defense. So the spirit backs up, gets out of the way so that the mind and the body can do what it needs to do. And this feeling state, the spirit sort of detaches and just allows the mind and the mind be like, run, the body goes, the mind be like, I'll fuck them up, and the body goes, fuck them up, right? And so that's the process that sort of happens when a traumatic event occurs. The work for healing and restoring the social order, and even that is this internal social order, mind, body, and spirit, in terms of how they are developed and designed to work together, must sort of reconnect and come into play to express what happened, in order to move it, express it, to kind of keep going. However, when that doesn't happen, and when the spirit part, when the emotion is not able to be expressed because it continues to be suppressed, the mind sort of the mind gets in action and says, no, I ain't thinking about that. No, I don't want to think about that. So the spirit, that part of the spirit, remains suppressed and unexpressed, and then that becomes a problem. So it's important to first remember and tell the truth. And again, that's the feelings too. So I say that to say you are likely to hear and or witness the expression of possibly a variety of feelings as I listen to and talk with us, and as we look at Umar's shit here. It's many emotions begin to emerge, including anger, sadness, disgust, so, and that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. And here in the recovery room and in the recovery zone of Racism Non-Anonymous, this is that safe place to express those feelings. So let's get into it here real quick. We're not going to keep you long. This is what we're going to be listening to and dealing with and exploring. Okay.
I'm sorry, sister. The live timed out before I could respond. My apologies to the teacher.
And my apologies for playing this over. I know we heard it on the last one. But
Brooklyn. Very good words. Very insightful recommendation. My live video timed out before I could respond to her. My live video timed out before I could respond to her. If you're still there, Queen teacher from Brooklyn, thank you for that. You've given me something to think about. Ideas rule the world, and you gave me one to think about. Mm-hmm. Ideas rule the world, and that beautiful African queen from Brooklyn gave me something to think about. I hope to see you at the White Plains training, February 29th, or I hope to see you at the Newark, New Jersey training, March the 1st, at the Source of Knowledge. So we're going to change the question a little bit. If we do this forum, will it be in vain? Dr. Umar is willing to have a forum with my 12 major haters. Will this benefit our cause, or will this just give them a larger platform? If we do the meeting, if we follow the recommendation of our beautiful sister, who I just spoke with, are we giving the haters a larger platform? Are we making a mistake by giving the haters a larger platform, or will this benefit us? If they go back to YouTube and keep on making videos after this forum, who would have benefited? Dr. Umar or them by giving them a forum so large they would have never gotten it on their own? That is the question. Do we do the forum with the haters? A public forum, everybody can come, they can ask their questions, goon squad in place, Goon squad in place.
Yeah.
Do we do the forum, or are we making a mistake by giving the haters too large of a platform that they can only run back to YouTube with? I want to hear your answers.
So first, it for me, excuse me, it sounds pretty pitiful right now. A man who professes to have 6 degrees, okay, and I suspect folks know when you talk with folks who have college degrees, there's something about the tone of of their conversation that kind of clues you in that they sound like they smart, sound educated. You can tell they read a lot, or on the academic level. There's a certain tone, underlying tone, I believe, and a to the tone A. Yet he professes to have that. Yet he has to ask people if they think it's okay for him to host the forum, as if he's having a difficult time making decisions for himself. So that first, yet another sign of something. His difficulty with making decisions and indecisiveness is sort of a sign of borderline sort of personality. I heard him sort of almost ask 3 different questions, and the other thing I thought was interesting, I kind of caught this time. Whatever the question the sister presented to him before they lost their feed, he seems to have changed it, because he said, I'm going to change the question a bit, and I'm going to change it up like this. And then you're presenting this question with all this fluff and stuff that you need to add. See, this is an example. This is an example of unhealthy and ineffective communication, which, as I kind of see it at this point, for us as a people, is our primary challenge. And why I work to promote healthy and effective communication, because this is what happens when you have unhealthy and ineffective communication styles. It's like you had to ask this question 3 times, and then you're adding. It's not really a question when you have to add, the quote unquote goon squad in place. Now, what messages are you, sort of all these different mixed signals? So on the one hand, we're going to have a forum where we invite folk who we know dislike us. So we'll have our goon squad in place. And so you want them to come and say what? With your goon squad in place. However, it seems that your intent is to assure that they will not come back to YouTube. However, if the question is, if we host this and do this, are we just giving them more ammunition to go back to YouTube with? Because what you really want is to stop people from talking about your shit on YouTube. Is the sort of like underlying, when you kind of peel through the levels of shit that he just laid out there. There's, like we hear how many levels. I'm not good with going back and getting it. I'm not on a computer, so this makes it a little more challenging, and I don't like to spend time doing that. Yet I suspect you all heard the sort of levels of shit, but underneath what you're saying and what you want is for people to stop talking about your ass on YouTube, and you don't know how to do that, so you're going to reach out to your supporters to ask them, well, here's something, we're thinking. I really want to hear the question from that child beforehand. I'd like to hear what the context of that was about, to get a better understanding. So let's listen just a little bit more, and then we're going to end this for the night. We're at 15 minutes. Yeah, my goal is to kind of keep them under 20 minutes until I know that people are more interested in hearing more, then I'll continue more. But since right now we have such a low level followers and listeners, and so we'll kind of keep it short and expand as the channel expands. So
Hear your answers. Should we do a forum with the haters? Should
this
the
is the
most
third
progressive
time
black
he's asking
scholars
the
in the
question.
world do a forum? Baby P, where you at, Queen? I need to see your face, baby. Where you at? I look alive. I want to see that face.
Oh, he want to see that face.
Show me that face, baby.
Show me that face. He got to see her face. Why? Why? Right? We know why.
You there, Baby D? Or you got reception problems?
Her name is Baby D, quote unquote.
Should we do a forum with the haters? All of them. All of them.
Now, right here, just for the record, he kind of looks like he's been drinking. He has this kind of glazed look when I see him when he did that, as he asked the question and he looked at her, like has this kind of glazed look, like he's had a few shots here. Yet it's really pathetic at this point, because imagine there was a time when he did sound a lot more sort of professional, and he had a tone and used words in a way that suggested he had some education under his belt, and that he truly worked in a professional setting. And if all of that is really true, Umar, given where you are right here, right now, it it's pretty pathetic and it's pretty sad.
Next Generation 2020. The question is, should I take the recommendation of the sister and do it?
Hi, Dr. Umar.
How you doing there, gorgeous? Where you at in the world?
I'm in Newark, New Jersey. I'm waiting for you to come March 1st.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What is your opinion, Queen, on what the teacher just said? She said I should have a forum with the haters, let them ask whatever they want to ask. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think that's just giving them a larger platform where they can cause even more problems? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think that if you give them a platform, it doesn't matter because they're still going to show their
Let me
ass.
see. I have to give them the shit. So, I hear what the question was that the sister was saying. Okay, maybe it is interesting because maybe this person was working to still maintain the illusion that the dude is on the up and up. Because, it's like, well, if as a supporter, well, just have a forum and let them ask their questions and tell them, because she really believes that person. That would kind of seems like, so she probably really believes that he's somewhere in there. He's sincere and honest about doing this thing. And, the little girl in her, see, that's the thing. I'm going to end with that for these next couple minutes. And we're not gonna get to listen to this child. Like I said, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until we get more followers and some likes, some comments or something. Yet we talk about, in mental health, I recognize there's different parts of ourselves, and many of these folks who are speaking to him and even, well, talk about him later. Yet the part of them that is speaking is a very much a child part of themselves, who really believes deep down inside and has hope and belief that mommy or daddy is going to do the right thing. And see, this is a generation, as I recognize it and as I kind of reference, these are the generations that sort of fell through the cracks. And as they are coming up out of the cracks now, they come up with this really kind of sick shit, because they kind of covered in a lot of sick shit thanks to the crack epidemic and what happened for them in their generation, right? Yet, and at the same time, so it's this little child part in there that really believes that this person is sincere. So she's saying to him, well, just have a forum and let your haters come and let them ask you the questions and we'll take it from there. However, Umar has to put that question because he know good and dang blasted well that he couldn't handle that, because he's not truthful and he's not honest about what he's saying. Yet the followers still really don't know that, because they're very much wounded, traumatized children who are out running around playing with absolutely no boundaries, no filters, and sort of limited skills to know how to think um, logically. During their generation and during their time, the things that were happening for them and around them were not logical at all, and their boundaries were pretty much violated in many ways, and it's still reflected in their behaviors and actions as adults. So that's where I'm gonna leave that at for now. It's late. Excuse me. And so, I have another day. I did 7.5 hours today, doing the work that I do. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I look forward to continuing the process, and I look forward to talking with you all again. I thank you for listening to me share. I ask that you leave a comment and you share your thoughts, just on this bit of what we kind of covered today and talked about. I encourage you to, and I understand why people now ask for people to like the video. Yes, please subscribe, and welcome and thank you to the most recent subscribers that came through for me. And it would be cool if I had it up and available to me to read the names. I can get it, and let me see, and read the names of my most recent subscribers and say greetings. And you certainly all are inspiring me to kind of get on and produce something, share some shit with you. And I hope that you are enjoying this this here shit. And so until next time, again, thanks for listening to me share. Peace.